Jane Lehman in Bernie, Texas. We have an amazing call tonight, and I'm just going to go right out to Mr. John Hoffman because he will introduce this incredible guest that we have. And at the end, we'll have some announcements from Annette Zobar. So, Mr. Hoffman, it's all yours.
Hey, thanks, Jane. And it's okay if you say y'all. You're down in the heart of Texas now, so that should be right up your alley. So we're with you. And hey, it is an exciting night. We're going to discuss an exciting milestone that's been accomplished in the 50-year history of this great company. You also don't want to miss next week. I would encourage you to get out to not only maybe your guests, but also all your associates. We are going to have a cybersecurity expert, a private investigator, really discussing the power of Legal Shield's ID Shield and a whole host of things that we probably aren't aware of. I wasn't aware of in respect to these great benefits. So welcome. Hello to everybody. And like I mentioned, this is an honor for me. It is an exciting milestone in the 50-year plus history of one of the most iconic, amazing companies I can think of, and let alone to think that for 25 years for some of us and many other years for some others on the phone, that we've had a chance to really be a part of it and partake in this mission, this cause, and this opportunity to, not just make a difference, but make a significant living. And really tonight, I'm honored on two fronts. One, I get a chance to introduce this individual. Mr. Cliff Malloy is Legal Shield's newest $1 million ring earner. You might want to put that down, and if it makes sense, just write out $1 million, 7 figures, and kind of really comes into play what that number looks like. But that's all in 1 year. That's an annual income. That's less than 5%, less than 0.5% of what people make on an annual basis in the greatest country in the world. It's a heck of an accomplishment. It's something I'm honored to, share, discuss, and as I introduce Cliff, just excited for him. More importantly, the second honor for me is that I've known this gentleman for over 30 years, and I'm very proud to call him a friend, to have associated and to have kind of gone through this whole price to promise together for 30 years is something that's absolutely special. And it's something that's absolutely unique in our industry. Most people are part of companies for 3 years, maybe 4 years, 3 months, maybe 15 months. And yet Legal Shield continues to shine, continues to introduce ring earners, continues to introduce, millionaire club members, and just continues to kind of really break records and kind of be at the forefront of revolutionizing, ideas, distribution, and disrupting markets. So, Cliff, it's an honor to have you. I know you are out celebrating your mom's birthday as well. That just shows what kind of commitment you have to just not this business, but to the people who work the business. I'd encourage you guys to get a notepad out. You're going to get nuggets all through Cliff's conversation. And Cliff, if you don't mind, for the next maybe 15 minutes, share a little bit of that price to promise journey you've been on as you've pursued this iconic ring position. So Cliff, love you. Congrats, my friend. And I'm going to throw it out to you.
Well, thank you, John. Can you hear me okay?
You bet. Absolutely.
Great. I'm trying to get this, I got my iPad out here. I'm actually at a restaurant right now and with the family. And I found this really cool background. I'm trying to get this back with me to my house. But I'm like, I like that, man. That's pretty dope. But thank you so much, John. I certainly appreciate that. I'm honored. We go way back. And I like to say we go back to Similac, maybe not that far, but way back. And, I actually didn't meet John in 1990 and 1991. But I heard of John Hoffman back then, and I didn't have a chance to meet him in person until 1995 or 96. Actually, it was 95, and I believe it might have been Dallas, Texas, and so that was a phenomenal honor. And over these years, to be able to work together and to know John and Darcy and his beautiful girls who were just babies. When I met him for the first time, actually, one was a baby, the other two weren't even here yet. So it absolutely incredible times. And as a matter of fact, John has seen all of it, right? He's seen all of the times that I've been through, the most challenging times. He's helped me through it, and guided me in his wisdom. So Shield Nation family, I'm not sharing anything that many of you don't already know, but to have lived it and experienced it even before we had the opportunity to join with this incredible company, Legal Shield, at the time, Prepaid Legal, and PPLSI, whatever name, whatever, logo color you want to choose. We've been here through a lot of those too. So, Jane, I want to thank you for opening up the call tonight, and your great attitude, and all of the y'alls and all that. I love it. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's who you are. It's who we are as a family, as a company, as an organization. What's exciting about being a part of the Shield Nation family is that we all know that there's a foundation, and that foundation is rooted in core philosophies, core principles, core values that are and have always been consistent. And the opportunity that Legal Shield provides sits on that foundation, and that foundation is the reason why we have the faith, the trust, and the belief in the leadership that we have here. And on that, we can build something truly incredible. So that's the first blessing that we have. And of course, having a company like Legal Shield that's been in business for over 50 years, that has stood the test of time, that has had its own consistency of leadership. One of the things that we can get excited about, and one of the things that I've always gotten excited about, and many of us have gotten excited about over the years, is that we know we can work hard and really put everything into it, because this company's been here for these last 50 years and has paid us for these last 50 years. And we know that if we work hard, this company will continue to do that for the next 50 years, by the grace of God, if we're here, and by the grace of God, if we're not. We, through this incredible business model that they put in place, we can will that on to our heirs. So, it definitely, I got to tell you, it lends itself, as John was opening up when he started speaking about companies that, that don't stand the test of time, right? I mean, I've been involved with those companies where I basically set a 5-year and 10-year plan, literally have a 5 and 10-year building plan, and the company wasn't in business for 18 months or 3 years. So, a clue, don't start a beeper business, at the end of the beeper industry. I'm just saying, Metcom, never mind. I'm not going to go there. But I want to speak to this particular opportunity and this incredible milestone, to be able to earn the $1 million ring. It's two parts. Number one, the company simply gave us an opportunity, right? So back in I think it was March or April of 2018, which was the international convention. And I can't even remember where we were, what city we were in for that particular international convention, but we met for an international convention. And at the end of the event, no one expected it. I mean, some few people on the inside probably knew what was going on, but many of us were sitting in the audience, and the company announced at that time, the current administration at that time announced what was the biggest thing I had ever seen in all of network marketing. I had never seen a company that said that if you do this over the next 5 years or 60 months, you qualify platinum. They'll give you a year to qualify platinum. And then from the time that you qualify platinum the first time, you qualify for 60 consecutive months at the platinum level. And if you do that, at the end of that period of time, we're going to pay you out a total of $1.5 million. Now, at the time when they first introduced it, they were paying out 5,000 less than 1.5 million. They were paying it out on a schedule that if you qualified for 60 months, you would get a $20,000 bonus. Then if you qualified for, did I say 60 months? 12 months. 12 months, you would get a $20,000 bonus. 24 months, you would get a $125,000 bonus. And then 36 months, you would get a $325,000 bonus. And then, you know, and then in the last year, the 60th month, you would get $1 million, a $1 million one-time deposit. And I got to tell you, that lit me up. And but I had mixed feelings because I got excited about that, to be involved in a company that was even offering that. All I saw was a company that offered it. I didn't think I was going to get it. I didn't think I was in a position to qualify for it, but I was excited that I can recruit to that bonus. And that's all my focus was. My focus was, there's no other company out here offering even the opportunity. I think I can recruit a lot of people by putting an opportunity in front of them to have the opportunity to even earn a $1 million bonus, $1 million bonus. So that got me excited. And then I started working, of course, to build my organization and build my business. And then I ran into someone that I had known for several years, a gentleman by the name of Owen Barrett. Some of you, Mr. John Hoffman, you certainly know him. But I actually presented to this guy back in the mid-90s. I used to work for a seminar promotions company, and I went up into his office, and he did Primerica Financial Services. I went up into his office and sold him some seminar tickets in the mid-90s. Remember that, John? Results, that company. And I was very impressed with his organization. I was very impressed with his motivation, his team. You know, I didn't tell him that I'd been in network marketing in the early 90s or the late 80s. Did I say that? I meant to say the late 90s. But anyway, so I've been around for a minute. But I didn't tell him that. But I was just impressed with his organization. Well, it just so happens that I hadn't talked to Owen Barrett since the mid-90s. Then when I sold him those tickets, and everything happens for a reason, right? So the company announced this bonus in August of 2018. August of 2018, I run into Owen Barrett again, just happenstance. And it turned out, as a matter of fact, John Hoffman was the guest speaker at a Super Saturday, and I invited Owen Barrett to that Super Saturday event. So pardon the background noise, guys. I'm in a public place. So John Hoffman was the guest speaker at a Super Saturday. I invited Owen Barrett to that Super Saturday to see what we were doing, you know, and you know, I let him know I was involved in a network marketing business similar to the one he was in back in the mid-90s. And he said, sure, I'll come out and take a look. And he came out and he was very impressed. He was very impressed with what he saw. He was impressed with the stability. He loved Mr. Hoffman's message, and just he felt the leadership, you know, and the wisdom of Mr. Hoffman. And at that point, he decided that this was something that he wanted to do. He just needed to see a game plan. He wanted to understand how the compensation worked. So I got together with him, and this was August of 2018, and he decided to get started. And I said, next month, at the beginning of September, there's a leadership convention, and you need to be there. As a matter of fact, I didn't even give him an option. I said, you know, you're very lucky that you got started before the convention, because now you can go. You know, I said, you know, I know it's tight, you know, airfare, and he said, no problem, I'll go. And he made arrangements to go. And unfortunately, he had to go to a funeral that same weekend. So he came, instead of being there for Friday evening, he got there. No, actually, instead of being there for Thursday, he got there on Friday evening. So he got to see, meet some people on Friday evening and attend the Saturday session, and then some of the Sunday morning activities. He got to participate in that. But the bottom line is, coming out of that conference, he decided to become an executive director. right? So they say big decisions happen at big events. I'm saying all of this stuff, guys, not just to share with you the road that I went down to for this opportunity, but this is a fact. Big decisions happen at big events. And he decided to become an executive director. Now, what if I wasn't able to get him to that level of an event? Would he have still decided to become an executive director? Possibly, but maybe not right away. He developed a sense of urgency because of the convention, and he saw other people like him, you know, and I'll just say it, you know, he had an ego. He's accomplished things. He's a $1 million annual income earner in his own right in real estate investing. He does that now. So taking on this, you know, taking on Legal Shield was definitely a part-time thing to him, but he understood network marketing and he liked the stability of the organization. And but the bottom line, he decided to go executive director. Well, guess what, guys? This guy hit executive director in his very first month in the business. So, and he did it right. He built it with a team. He didn't do it with all personal production. He built the organization. He built it with a bunch of managers. He built a lot of managers. He built it on 4 legs, and he built the structure, and then he just filled it with the production, with all the membership production. And we helped people get Fast Start qualified, and we did a lot of that. But the bottom line is he qualified executive director his very first month in the business, and that was the last leg I needed for platinum. So my first month of platinum qualification was September of 2018. Was the first month I qualified for platinum for this particular promotion, and that's where it started. And I got to tell you, that's where it was the longest 60 months that I had ever been in. It was the longest 1,826 days that I'd ever been a part of, and I had to literally take each day as it was, and it was hard. I got to tell you guys, it was hard. But you know, what does Jim Rohn always say? He says, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." And every single day, every single week, every single month, I basically would ask myself, and I would ask the leaders on the team, right? You know, Kimberly and Russell Dixon are on here, and Duran and Joy Rodriguez are on here, and you know, some of the folks that, you know, hear me talk about this kind of stuff on a regular basis. And I'd say, you know, what can we do to be better? How can we get better? Well, we show we better by what we do. We show we better by what we produce. We show we better by how we act, right? And how we manage problems. Problems are going to be problems. They're always going to be problems. They're never going to go away. The problem is not the problem. It's how we address the problem. It's how we react to the problem. It's how we turn it around and relay it back to others. That becomes the problem if we let it. Problems are problems, and we just deal with the problems, and we basically turn it around and we create opportunities out of problems. As a matter of fact, one of the mentors that we both know, John and I, said, your income in this industry is going to be in direct proportion to the problems you're willing to face and solve. Man, that right there is a philosophy. I'm going to say it again. The income that you earn in this industry will be in direct proportion to the problems you're willing to face and solve. I see some stuff in the chat. Am I having a problem with anything? Is there a problem with my sound or anything? Am I good?
Oh, no, Cliff, you're all good. There's just a few little comments that are coming up during the conversation, but keep going. And one of the comments were, and I know you're going to get there, is what were some of the things you had to overcome, you know? And I know you're getting
okay.
there. Yeah.
No, that's fine. I can't see the chat. It just pops up every once in a while. But I'm so focused on I'll be honest with you, I'm a little distracted, you know, by what's going on in front of me. You guys can't see it, but I was a little distracted, and it wasn't women. It was just, you know, people. So I'm just saying, you know, these things happen. But the fact is, so I saw some of the chat, but I'm not seeing all of it. But what are some of the obstacles? I'll share with you some of the obstacles. The obstacles are distractions, right? And one of my most recent posts that I just posted a couple of days ago on Facebook said that if you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals. Wow. Is that deep? If you don't separate yourself from your distractions will eventually separate you from your goals. And distractions kind of creep in. You know, they don't come in with packaging that says I'm a distraction. You know what I mean? They come in very subtly. Sometimes as opportunities. Distraction could be addressed as an opportunity, or what you might think is an opportunity. But anything that takes you away from, you know, your mission, your goal, your focus, your activity that you should be engaging in is a distraction. And I've had a lot of those, you know, over the years, and I've had a lot of those in these last 60 months, these last, you know, 1,826 days. That's how many days are in 5 years, and you just have to address that. Some of the distractions I've had in this time in building my business, a couple of core philosophies that I share with John Hoffman, and you hear him talk about all the time. Core philosophy number one: build the business, don't build to the bonus. Right? You hear Mr. Hoffman talk about this all the time, and it's very important, and it's even more important now, and it's relevant now because we have the Dream Bigger bonuses happening right now, and the Dream Bigger bonuses are as big or maybe a bigger opportunity than the bonus program that I had the opportunity to take advantage of, which brought me to this place now, because everyone can engage in it, right? It's not just for a few people that might believe they can position themselves with platinum and leaves everybody else out. It's open up to everybody at every level. And that's where you want to build it. You want to help people advance and grow, because that basically all of the, you know, cream rises to the top. But some of the biggest challenges I've had is you know, and Jim Rohn says it, you know, building a team of independent associates is kind of like herding cats, right? You're trying to organize chaos, right? And not to say that's a bad thing, but we're saying, you know, they're independent associates. They're not. This is not a job, right? This is not. We're not managers in the corporate paradigm where we can basically tell people what to do and how to do it, when to do it, right? We can only suggest. We can only coach. We can only, you know, be an example of the leadership. We can only be the message that we want to bring to the team and hope that they receive it. And you'll be more readily, your team will more readily receive a message from you if they see that you're consistent in the message that you're bringing. If you're not consistent in the message you're bringing to the team, you're going to lose credibility with that team, right? So if you're asking your team to do something, you better have already been doing it, so that they can see that you are the message that you're bringing to the team. I say that to say that I've been consistent over the years, even, you know, before these promotions came along. I mean, 25 years, because of the philosophies and the core values that Mr. Hoffman, you know, you can't help but learn the same values from the leadership that you are born into, right? I was born into the Shield Nation organization, and I grew up, you know, on the leadership of John and Darcy Hoffman. I grew up on the philosophies of John and Darcy Hoffman, the core values of John and Darcy Hoffman. So, of course, I'm going to basically turn around and teach the same thing to the people I have the opportunity to share and grow with, and that is build your business, don't build to the bonus. If you just focus on building to the bonus, then some things can slip by the wayside, like retention, right? And the shame of that, if we're not focused on the quality of business that we're writing, right? This ain't aluminum siding. You know what I mean? I mean, we're not selling aluminum siding. When you sell aluminum siding, then I just need to close you that one time, because once the siding's up on your house, buddy, you got it, right? But in this business, right, we have a membership, right? That if I close somebody on the membership, on getting the membership, they might get it because of the strong arm tactics I use, or maybe I have a lot of credibility with you, and I'm coming from a position of strength, you know, in a socioeconomic situation, and I ask you to do it, or just do it, and I do it. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna keep it, right? When your influence moves away, then I'm gonna basically, you know, slide that membership to the side, and I'm gonna become a chargeback, right? That's not positive, right? But these things, you know, it's all subtle, right? It's all subtle. And these, yes, sir.
Hey, let me interrupt you 1 second because I'm remembering something, and I don't want to get you off where you're on it. You know, the retention is our pension. I know you, and what you did to overcome that is something I think we should save for another call because of how deep it is. I remember, for everybody listening in, maybe you could do this for everybody. Is you know, Owen Barrett was a really good leader, and he went executive director his first month. We also know that when you go executive director your first month, there's a lot of nuances that can be happening in the organization. But there was also a time where Owen kind of got then sidetracked back to his real estate business. And as a leader, realizing that, you know, we're herding cats, we're taking care of the children at times because they're brand new, share with everybody what you did to step up your leadership role. And in the absence of Owen, you dug deep, took inventory, and then kind of engaged the team and continued that momentum running, because that's your platinum leg from month one. And now you got to go 60 months to qualify. I mean, so just maybe a couple of minutes on what you did there. Because I remember, man, you not only stepped up then, but you stepped up for many, many, many months to solidify that leg when Owen was with us and wasn't with us.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. Hoffman. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, he went ED his first month, and he was focused for about, I would say, the first year, right? His first year, he was relatively focused with the help of, you know, leaders. But it actually 7 or 8 months into the business, I saw his focus shift a little bit. And by then, he had already earned his $50,000 ring, right? As earned. He was as earned the $50,000 ring. But the real estate industry was shifting a little bit. And I saw his focus shifting with that, you know, because that's his primary source of income. And he has a lot of things involved in that. So I saw that maybe I have this guy's attention for maybe 5 or 6 more months before we lose it. And because he was such an important leg at that time, what we had to do, guys, is that you have to dig deeper, right? So it's not about Owen Barrett. You have to look deep in the organization and shore up those legs and look for other leaders to work directly with, you know. So that's exactly what we did. And we, you know, basically started making personal phone calls to folks and getting them plugged in and letting them know that, you know, you have a friend here in the business, leaders here. We would get together with people. We'd have dinner with folks, really get to know them, develop the relationship, right? So that they can trust and get to know us. And because of that, that leg stayed strong. And even Owen Barrett, you know, he's still an active associate, but he hasn't been active in maybe 3 years. He hasn't been around. And I honestly don't even know if he knows what's going on right now, but that's okay. I mean, he still has his membership. He still has his associate agreement. He can pick it up wherever he wants to pick it up from. But whenever he's ready to just put in a little bit of activity, he'll probably qualify ED, because that leg is still active. That leg is still going, and it's still happening, and it's still qualifying. So he'd be bronze, quite frankly, if he just picked up a little bit of activity right now, Mr. Hoffman. I appreciate that. And guys, I apologize if I don't sound as on point as I normally would be. I'm just not in the environment where I would have been, you know, my headspace was there. But I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere, guys. So I will be here, and I'm available always to the Shield Nation family in everything we do. And we're just blessed to have the depth of leadership that we do have, not only in the Hoffmans, but in all of the incredible leaders here. If you go to shieldnation.com, you can just see, and just click on the tab that says leadership. You can see the depth of the leadership and the quality of the leadership that we have within this organization. And we need to talk about that more. We need to market our success. I'm telling you guys, we need to market our success. We need to talk about us and we and our team, right? Not necessarily me and I and my, but we and us and our, this team, this organization, the leadership that we've developed, the leadership that we are developing, you know, as a organization, that we need to market our success. People want to be a part of winning organizations and winning teams. So when you let them know that, you know, look at the leadership that we have an opportunity to be born into, and this is our lineage, can you imagine where we can go on building on a foundation of success like the one we've had already? And the opportunities are wide open in front of us. So that's what I'm super excited about. And that's what we're a part of. So thank you, Mr. Hoffman, for having me tonight. When Mr. Hoffman asked me if I can do this, I let him know that I was celebrating my mother's 80th birthday in Cancun this weekend. My family's going to be here for a week. I'm only 4 days. I can't do a week. You know, I'm not part-time. So I have to get back in my business. So I'm here for 4 days. I'm gone. Family can stay as long as they want. So, but I told him that I would be here doing this, and he said, no, we can do it another time. I said, no, I can make it happen. I gotta keep my muscles. You know, I gotta stay in workout mode as far as my business. I can't let 4 days go by without doing something PPLSI and Legal Shield. So here is that something today. So I'm getting a little workout in with Legal Shield.
Well, fantastic. Hey, listen, my friend, that's the heart of a leader right there. And your commitment is never ending. It's 24/7. I did say, look, you're with your mom. Let's catch you the next week. You're like, nope, let's do it, man. Let's do it. And appreciate it. Get back with your family. We will have another piece of this because your retention story and the hurdles you had to overcome when your retention dropped, which was part of qualifying for that $1 million ring, you went right to work and you bumped it back up 8 to 10 points, you know, and so look, there's trials, there's tribulations, there's a price to reaching the promise, and we attack the challenges just like we attack the victories. So thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Love you, man. Happy birthday to your mom.
Thank you all. Love you all. Thank you, John. Appreciate you guys. Tell Darcy I said hello. And you all have a blessed one. Look forward to seeing you guys in Oklahoma City. Stop playing. Let's go make it happen. Get registered if you ain't already in it. Come on. Join the business. God bless you guys.
We're gonna see you in Destin first, so love it.
Oh yes, our Destin retreat. That's gonna be hot. Wait till you guys see the stuff that I do to John there.
Yep. All right, man. Cliff, enjoy the night. Happy birthday to your mom. Annette, we're gonna let you kind of wrap up with any announcements you have. Jane will close the call, and then I'll just kind of and Annette, before you do that, just a quick reminder. This cybersecurity private investigator expert for next Monday is going to crush it. It's going to be good. And I would encourage you, if you have guests in your pipeline, if you want to hear the power of, the power that's in the benefits of our product, our ID Shield, you won't want to miss it. You know, this guy rocked my world about a month and a half ago when Darcy and I did the Super Saturday in Alabama, just because I didn't know some of the stuff he knew, and it's helped me to even sell this product with, on more of its merits. So, Annette, anyhow, over to you. I know you got a few things to share, and then you can throw it to Jane, and we'll wrap it up. Thanks, Annette.
Hello, everyone. Real quick, I'm going to share my screen. If you go to LS Engage, you will see the network updates. Melissa Peters is doing a sales masterclass this Saturday. There's all kinds of information in here about the new incentives. You can click on it. Everything has links, so it's real easy to find. Coming soon, later this week, the marketing site preferences tool is going to be coming up, so we can modify what we see on our marketing site. There's also links to the live events and the Fast Start training. For those of you in business solutions, I'm going to click on this link. There's a B2B prospecting blitz each Tuesday. Fundamentals of Business Solutions training is coming up on Thursday. Retention blitz. There's a Canadian employee benefits certification, another employee benefits certification. All this is happening in the next couple of weeks. And this is really exciting. A CDLP certification training Saturday the 28th with Mr. Alan Roman and our very own Mr. John Hoffman will be doing the presenting on that. And I'm going to stop the share. And just a reminder, in preparation for next week, if any of you have some ID Shield stories about how ID Shield has helped you or your members, get that information over to Jane. Are you the one that wants it? You're muted.
I'm putting my email address in the chat right now. Yes, if you could get, we'll take some stories next week. We'd love to hear from maybe 4 or 5 people. That might help the cybersecurity guy as well. Who knows?
That concludes my announcement. So Jane, I'm going back to you.
Okay, tell me if I spelled that right. It should be legalshieldjane@gmail.com. That's my email address. Get stories, your ID Shield stories. Get them to me this week. If you only have someone else's address, whatever, get them there so that they can get it to me. And like, as you've heard, this is different now. Invite, invite, invite. You notice we didn't do a briefing tonight. That's okay. We need to have guests on here to see what our culture is all about. Can you imagine having had a guest listen to Cliff Malloy tonight? That was incredible. And he mentioned the Build Your Dream. Annette just mentioned Build Your Dream. It's the first thing you see at the top of Ellis Engage, Build Your Dream. So you guys plug in, invite guests for next week, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Night.
Great call.
Good night. Great call.
He like his little self.
Awesome.
Thank
Come
you,
in the
Mike.
house.